Welcome to Look Around Florida, and Sean will be with you next.
Welcome to Look Around Florida. How y'all doing today? All right, let me get a couple things out. This way, my boss doesn't call me and so forth and so on. So our disclaimer: these are our views and our views only. Hey, Keith, how you doing tonight, buddy? So we're gonna give it a couple minutes. I got some guests in the back, a guest in the background. As soon as we get the population up, we'll bring him in and talk about a few things that may be coming up. So, hey, Bobby, so I was just thinking about you, sir. Hey, Bobby, if your camp's having a Lee Jackson thing, please let me know. Just shoot me a message like normal. I know. You're right, Keith. I hope everybody's okay from the storm. I know I got an alert earlier. Parts of Jackson County got hit with a tornado. So if we have any members of the Florida Division up there, our thoughts and prayers go out to them. Hey, Roy and Linda, welcome to the show. The guest is in the background, so we're just waiting for people to populate. So stay in the chat, you know. Got some big things going on, couple cool things. I know some of you saw my post be a week ago tomorrow, Wednesday. I went down to Key West, and I've always heard stories about the cemetery. So as soon as we got off the Key West Express, I gunned it to the cemetery. As soon as I came into the gate and made a left, boom, right there, Confederate veteran headstone, and various different places in that cemetery, and a unique marker. And I took a picture of it. I know some of you seen it. A UBC, United Confederate Veteran marker. Some people do believe it's a copy of the original marker. So next time I go back down there, I'm going to take a look at the back of them to see if they're numbered. I did notice a number on them, like 21 or 21-7. So, well, my guest just disconnected on. Let me message him, make sure. Hey, Victor, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, I love cemeteries. I love going to all of them, especially historical cemeteries. Yeah, that's the interesting part I like about cemeteries is the artwork on headstones. Yeah, granted, Key West Cemetery is an old cemetery. Didn't see it that granted, I didn't walk the whole cemetery. I just walked part of it. So the next time I go back down there, I'm gonna look at it. I want to give a shout out to Roy and Linda Hudson and the Captain JJ Dickerson camp. Thank you for having me at your Lee Jackson dinner this past Saturday with the guest speaker was Walter Kennedy. It was a good time catching up with a lot of my brothers and sisters that we talked through Facebook or that. We finally get a chance to talk face to face. Good to see the boys that came up from West Palm Beach area. So it's a good time to see a unofficial division photographer, Jimmy Shirley, still uploaded pictures. He's always does a hell of a job with pictures at all of our events, especially reunions and all that. So, I know parts of Jacksonville right now are getting hit with some thunderstorms. So our guest may have got a temporary outage. No big deal. Show will still go on. Yeah, we got division reunion coming up. Uh, 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 I thought it was something I did. Our guest will be back momentarily. He just messaged me. He's trying to log back in. Get a kind of an update with what's going on with the division, and some stories that we've heard the past couple weeks. So keep in mind, we got Lee Jackson dinners coming up. We still got two left. Bobby, I got your message. Thank you, sir. All right, we got the 32nd annual Lee Jackson Dinner Southern Heritage event, brought to you by the Finley's Brigade, Camp 1614 of the Sons of Confederate Veterans in the Mary Heaven Black Chapter Number 8, Order of the Confederate Rose. January 20th. It's in 2 weeks. Social hour will be at 5 p.m. Supper program will be at 6. Jackson Lodge number 1, 2818 Appalachian Parkway, Tallahassee, Florida. Tickets are $45 in advance. Their guest speakers, none other than Thomas Jesse, appearing as Robert E. Lee. All right, our guest is having some internet issues, so I'll be joining us shortly. And granted, we have this event coming up by the Florida Division, Sons of Confederate Veteran, the Lee Jackson Dinner, Sunday, January 21st, 24. Guest speaker will be none other than Carl Jones, Army of Tennessee councilman. That will be at 5 p.m. So our guest is back. We'll bring him up.
Hey, sorry about that.
That's all right, sir.
Technical difficulty, apparently.
Well, you guys had that thunderstorm earlier, so.
Yeah, that's all it was. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it's like a typical summer here.
Yeah, exactly.
So what kind of cool stuff coming up?
Oh, well, we're getting ready for our Lee Jackson up here in a short order. So that'll be good.
Yeah.
And then, we'll be shortly getting ready for divisional elections. That's coming up at at our division reunion. So, but of course, we'll be getting ready for that coming up. And I guess that'll be the next thing we'll be getting prepared for.
Yeah. Are you running again, Rick?
Yeah, I'm going to glutton for punishment. I'll do another term for division adjutant.
Same here. I'm running for the 15th Brigade Commander. So if any of you guys were wondering if we are rerunning again, this is our announcement.
Yep. And since we're going to talk a little bit about division elections, anybody who wants to run for any office above brigade commander and up in the division, everything is open. And if you want to run, we have an elections chairman. It's Jerry Peacock. Sean just put his email address up. You need to send him an email announcing that it is your intention to run, and you need to say what office you want to run from, or from. He has he will be in charge of that elections committee. This committee is the one, if you'll look in in our bylaws, they look at every candidate to make sure that, one, you are a member in good standing, because you have to be in order to run for office, which means your dues have to be paid, and you don't have to, and you can't have any complaints pending against you. With any of the disciplinary committees, either at division or national level, or your camp. And as long as you meet those requirements, you can run. And they will determine who they recommend for that office. Say if you're running for brigade commander just to pick a brigade, the 1st Brigade. If they pick you as the best choice, they will notify me as the division adjutant in the preparation of the ballots. Their choice ends up as the name that's on the ballot. That'll be the only name that's on the ballot. There'll be empty slots for write-in votes at the reunion. We do take nominations from the floor. So if you put in and you're not the one that they recommend, and you still want to be the 1st Brigade brigade commander, and you are nominated from the floor, your name is written in, and then there is an election. Your vote, there is a vote. So just because the elections committee doesn't recommend you doesn't mean that you're out. It just means that you weren't the recommended one, but you can still be nominated from the floor. I hope that's the way our bylaws are written, and it's been that way. So that's not a new thing. It's just the way it's been and I don't know how long it's been that way, but since I've been a member, that's been the way it has been. Mm-hmm. So if you have any questions, just look it up, and if you still have questions, you can contact me. Just write me an email or call me, and I'll be happy to try to explain it better if you need it.
Cool. All right. I know we have a sad story that just happened about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, about 2 weeks ago with the Women and Children's Monument.
Yes. Yeah, the Women of the Southland, or a tribute to the women of the Southern Confederacy, are names of the monument that was at what was used to be known as Confederate Park here in Jacksonville. Before that, it was Dignan Park, but in 1914, they changed the name to Confederate Park, and it was known as that up until 2021, when Lenny Curry, the mayor then of Jacksonville, changed it to Springfield Park, whenever he also took down the Soldiers Monument in Hemming Plaza and renamed Hemming Plaza. So, because it was named after a Confederate soldier. The Women of the Southland Monument. In 1912, the Florida Division of the United Confederate Veterans voted to ask each Confederate veteran to contribute $5 to build that monument. which would be the equivalent of $152 in 2022 money, to build that monument. Who they described the women as the heroines of that struggle, meaning the war of Northern Aggression. They actually fell short of their goal of fundraising, and the state of Florida actually filled in the gap, the money for it. Yep. And the monument was designed in 1914 by a sculptor by the name of Alan George Newman. And it was dedicated on October 26th of 1915. The bronze sculptures were cast by John Williams Incorporated, and McNeil Marble Works served as the works contractor. And the reason it was put there was because in May of 1914, the 24th annual reunion of the United Confederate Veterans was held there. The city was overwhelmed when 70,000 visitors, including 8,000 former Confederate soldiers, showed up for a 4-day event of their annual reunion. And hundreds of pitched tents were there at that park. And that's why they renamed it to Confederate Park. So one of the speakers there was Governor Park Trammell. And there used to be a sign there that had a quote by him that says, "Florida has never been laggard in loyalty to the Southern cause and to the Southern veteran." Too bad our politicians have definitely swayed away from that. But this year, Jacksonville's new mayor, Donna Deegan, went outside of the city council, who had voted to leave everything as it is for now. She got money from private entities, the DuPont Corporation and others, and without even telling the city council until the morning of, as she was in the process of doing it, she brought in outside contractors and they removed all the bronze from the monument. And placed it in a facility, a city facility downtown. So they took the statue of there were two statues there. On the top was a woman with a battle flag, and inside the monument itself, inside the granite part, was a woman with children on her lap that she was reading a Bible to. So that's what they were offended by, a woman reading a Bible to two children. And they took that out.
Wow.
Yep.
Alrighty. So it did have. So the monument only was to women and children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a monument to the women, as Calvin says. It was basically well, I was going to say what he says, but it's lost. I've just lost it. It was it was like a Gold Star family monument, basically, is what it was. To the women who are behind when their men go off to war and don't come back. That was basically what it was. And
right.
So they decided to remove
it. Is there any thought, or has anybody stepped up about trying to get the monument to be able to put it somewhere else?
Right now, with the current political scene here, with her, the Take 'Em Down Jacks people here in town, their former leader was also a news anchor at Channel 12, and he recently passed. Well, as you know, our mayor was also a news anchor at the same station. So they were buddies.
Hmm.
So she was going to do it in his memory, is my opinion. So
Right.
yeah, she right now that's their newest bowling trophy. So no, they're not going to give that up. Not right now.
Right.
So
How does the city council feel?
I believe as one of the council people put it, we have a mayor, not a monarch. So they're not happy with the way it was done. So I believe, there will probably be a political price to pay by her at some point. I don't know
Right.
what that'll be. I don't know if it, who knows? It's politics with them, and you know how politicians are.
Exactly. They tell you
I
one
don't know
thing
what
and do
I don't know
something
what
else.
that'll be.
Right.
That's it's a sad thing, but I mean, I don't know. There's no telling.
Right. Is there anything else going on with the division?
Well, there's always stuff going on, but not for my part, not a whole bunch going on that I'm having to deal with. There. I know Calvin stays busy.
Yeah.
Why don't you bring him on? Let's get him in here. Let's see what he has to say.
How you doing?
Not bad, sir. How are you doing tonight?
Just fine. Doing a good job, two guys. Okay, let me just swing into everything we got, and we'll go from there. Unless you guys got anything, you good?
Good.
You're good.
Rick? All right. First thing I'd like to announce is I'll be running for division commander again. I'm kind of a package deal. There's a lot of guys that have asked me to run. That if I didn't run, they may not continue in the office that they're currently in. But I encouraged them that if I run again, that they would stay. So I'm kind of a package deal. I'll tell you later on, I guess, who all packages with, but Rick's one of them. He's been with me from the start. Mark, the treasurer, is another one, part of the deal, package deal. Kim, the chaplain, is another one. There are a couple of others too in the pile, but I'm kind of a package deal. If you like what I have so far, then that's how we're going to finish it out. We're going to finish out strong. Hopefully, we'll have a little bit of a revival going on this time. We're going to put some juice in the division. The other thing I got, anybody's listening that are near Jacksonville, the Lee Jackson dinner's on the 21st, 5 o'clock. That's a Sunday. Carl Jones will be our guest speaker. Carl Jones will probably be elected as Army of Tennessee commander. And hopefully in the future, he will progress to higher positions. Carl's a good guy. Known him since I've been going to division reunions way back. And he's a straight out good guy, SCV to the core. Hunley Awards. I continue to mail out Hunley Awards. If your camp isn't giving out a Hunley Award, you might want to invest in time to do it. It's not impossible. Kirby Smith gives out quite a few. And I know other camps in the Florida division are giving out Hunleys because I'm mailing them out to them now. It's the new design, better design of the Hunley on the front and on the back of the medal. It lists the crew members of the Hunley, so it accomplishes two things at once. It recognizes the historic significance of the Hunley, and two, it brings knowledge and celebration of those individuals that were crew members of the Hunley. Like I said, if you don't give out a Hunley, it's not that difficult. Just reach out to your ROTC. I think they give them out to all different groups. Army seems to be the one that probably give the most to. Division reunion this year is going to again be at Trenton. We're going back to Trenton. We did vote in a clause to have camps put in to host a reunion. We did not get any takers. So we'll host the division reunion at Trenton like we did last year. I thought it was pretty good reunion, especially for the cost. I am getting registrations for the state reunion. I encourage you to do that because we have to plan for the meals. And when you're planning for meals, you guys wait to the last minute, and I can't guarantee meals because it's just a touch and go with that, with the lunch. And we like to know how many people we can expect so it can be better planned. So I encourage you to send in your application, your reservation for the state reunion. It can be taken down. It's on the website, the Florida Division website. If you have an issue about trying to find the application for the state reunion, you can either reach out to myself or Rick, and we'll get one to you. Again, national reunion is in Charleston this year. It's probably one of the closest ones to the state of Florida. I encourage all the individuals to go to the national reunion, see your representatives, meet other individuals from other camps throughout the nation, see what ideas work good for that's working well for them, and bring them back, and perhaps you can use them in your camp. It's always a good time. Chris and myself, we've been going to reunions 20 years, maybe longer. You'd have to ask Chris, but we've never actually, I've never been recently to a bad reunion. They're all good, but they're various degrees of good. But Charleston usually is a decent reunion. That being said, Rick, did I miss anything we talked over?
No.
Sean, you got them pictures ready?
Let me. Ready.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay. When I start telling you to run them.
Okay.
I'd like to make an announcement. During the conversation where Rick was giving the information about the statues, monuments in Jacksonville, one of the ones that he had discussed was the Florida Soldiers Monument, which was in Hemming Plaza, which is changed to James Weldon Johnson, I believe.
Yep.
Park right now. This is the one that the mayor Curry took the soldier off the top of the monument and the plaques, and that began a 2.5-year struggle to fight for that monument. In the end, was it Deegan's administration that took the marble down?
No, Curry took it down the last week of his.
Curry, such a fine individual that guy ended up being. Mm-hmm. He took the rest of the granite down and removed it and put it in storage. During that time, I had conversations with the city of Jacksonville, and at that time, a resolution went through the city council, giving the monument back to the Hemming family, who Charles Hemming actually paid for the monument. The monument stood in storage until Deegan was there, and then I negotiated. So long story short, and there's a lot of information, a lot of tactics and strategy, but in the end, when the smoke cleared, Kirby Smith now owns all the Florida Soldiers Monument. We got the statue, he's 8 feet, roughly weighs about 1,500 pounds, maybe. I know he squatted the trailer. The plaques that are on the side, there are 4 plaques. One depicts J.J. Dickinson, which is the only monument I think that represents J.J. Dickinson, if I'm not mistaken. The other plaque is a Kirby Smith bust, these are all one-off designs. There are no other, including the soldier. Kirby Smith design is unique in that, I'm a Kirby Smith guy, collector, and every photograph I've ever seen of Kirby Smith, he's never wearing a hat, even in his military uniform pictures. He's never wearing a hat. This depiction on the plaque, he's actually wearing a hat. It's kind of a derby looking hat. The other plaque, you can bring that picture up, the one you just brought up. That is one of the plaques on the side that has Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson, our heroes, and the Confederate troops around it. Go to the next picture. That is the Soldier's Monument. He's roughly 8 feet tall.
Close to 9.
Close to 9.
Close to 9.
In his winter outfit with his overcoat, like the wind's blowing. The detail in this statue is incredible. I mean, even the studs in his belt for the bayonet scabbard. I mean, it's just super detailed. His belt buckle has CSA on it. This is a depiction of Charles Hemming as a young man, which he was during the war. And the kepi actually has JLI for Jacksonville Light Infantry letters on the kepi, which I'd always heard and read that, but I never could confirm that. I never could get close enough to see it. The statue itself hasn't been cleaned since, probably 1898. What you're seeing here is a little corrosion, pollution, bad air. I mean, this statue went through the 1906 Jacksonville fire. I mean, it's seen a lot. We are in the process of cleaning the statue. Give me another picture. We got the plaques and the soldier first. I call it the meat and bones. The meat was the plaques and the soldier, and the bones was the marble. Roughly, I think I roughly shot like 200,000 pounds of marble. We had to have many trailers. That particular one's like a low boy that you carry a bulldozer on. And we actually had a craning it over. And we moved very fast and efficiently out of that laydown yard. Show me another picture. This is the team once we got the marble or the granite back and set in place. Give me another picture. Excuse me. That is some of the other marble pieces set down in a laydown yard and being marked where they are and what they belong to. The crane still hooked to it. Come on, give me another picture.
Already. That's what I got loaded. So give me a second.
So that being said, we will reassemble the Florida Soldiers Monument. It will be
That's at the laydown yard.
Yeah, that's the laydown yard for the city. That's where it was all laid down. That's the main block there, which has the plaques, they were held at four corners by a stud. The individuals that disassembled this just wrung the studs off. We'll have to get those out. I got a plan about getting them out. We'll get those studs out and replace those, and probably epoxy new studs in there. Got any more pictures? That's the shaft. I think that thing's like 17 feet long.
17 feet 2 inches.
And,
Wow.
I think, if I ain't mistaken, I think that right there was like 16,000 pounds. Give me another picture. That's more lay down yard out there. You can see.
Whoop, sorry, let me clicked on the wrong thing. There we go.
That's the top that goes on the placard. It's like the cap that goes on the placard. Above each of the plaques depicts, say, infantry and cannons for artillery. There's all kinds of depictions that are carved in the top there. That's like sits on top of that square block.
Yeah, infantry, Navy.
Yeah, you got another one. Yeah, there's the infantry, the cross rifles. That is one of the bases. I think it's roughly 20 feet by 20 feet. That right there is a picture of the fire in 1906. It burned down everything surrounding the monument, the hotels, all the houses were burned down. In fact, some of the survivors that came out of the fire took their baggage and stuff and actually laid it down at the base of the monument, thinking it would be saved because it was on the marble. But the luggage caught fire, and there was a fireman that actually reported seeing the granite glowing red. You can see that Jacksonville is gone. Jacksonville downtown is gone. The only remaining thing is the Soldiers Monument. Got anything else there? You got some more pictures there, Sean?
Pretty much. Yeah, I got a different one.
I think that's when we went out there, we were allowed to go out there and look at during the Curry administration. And that's when I was figuring what I would need to move everything. We had to move it in one move because, setting the crane up, tearing it down, going out there, setting the crane up again, unloading and loading back up, that just wasn't feasible. That's why I had to have as many trailers as we did to move all that material. If I ain't mistaken, somewhere I think I read that it cost the city like $180,000 to move that thing. We moved it for nothing, other than everybody volunteering. Everything was volunteered. The trailers, the manpower, the crane. Our newest member to Kirby Smith Camp.
Cool.
So we accomplished a lot. The monument itself, it's a Florida Soldiers Monument. It was put up in 1898 when the soldiers from the Spanish-American War were in Jacksonville preparing to go to Cuba. Fitzhugh Lee was which is the nephew of Robert E. Lee. He was the general in charge of the troops. He was there at the unveiling of that statue. General Grant's son was there at the unveiling of the statue. The troops marched around it. The speeches that were given for that monument were reconciliation speeches, North and South coming back together, because at that time, like I said, the troops were made up of both North and South regiments, and they were going to fight the Spaniards in Cuba in the Spanish-American War. So the soldier himself, the orientation of the soldier, the majority of soldier monuments are facing north, in a defensive posture. This particular soldier was facing south because at that time, 1898, their enemy was coming from, as they seen it, from the south. The Spaniards, invasion. So it's a rather unique statue. Everything about it is a one-off. You talked about the women's monument. That's actually not a one-off monument. What was it, McNeil? Didn't you say McNeil? Manufacturer of that monument in Chickamauga. If you look at the Florida monument there, it looks very similar to the women's monument, other than the statue inside. I had the opportunity to talk to the grandson of the owner of the McNeil Marble Company when I was doing research a long, long time ago. He was like 94, and he had a beach house at the Florida beach. And I had an opportunity to talk to him, and during that conversation, they made several monuments, and he pretty much said it was a business. You know, they would have a generic soldier that looked both north and south for monuments, and it was a business for him. So the statue on top, I've never seen one of those. The statue inside of the woman teaching her children from the Bible, there's actually an Italian statue that looks very similar to that artist kind of plagiarized that monument, actually, after smoke cleared and when I was able to look at it. But that one is a beautiful monument. Those particular statues were actually behind the soldiers' monument underneath tarps when we started getting our stuff from the city. So I did take a look at it and seen it was there. So the Florida Soldiers Monument is going to be a Florida Division project, and so when we get it done, we'll make an announcement, and certainly the whole division can come see it. We're going to do some fundraising for this monument for its reassembly. There's several barriers and challenges we got to cross with it to get it all back together, but I can see the end of it, and it will be done. It's not going to linger. We are taking a breath because after 2.5 years, and you get it all. So, in some respects, we won. So it's the best possible ending to the story that we could hope for, is that we're in possession of it, and it will not, it will endure, and we're going to put it in a place that it'll be for its lifetime, and we won't have to worry about it ever having to be moved again. So, and there
Cool.
it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Any questions there, Sean?
I haven't seen anything come up other
No.
than Victor said he's going to get in trouble with Rick.
Yeah.
And nothing has come up yet. We got 7 people watching the show live. I know a lot of people in the division do watch the show later in the week.
Right. If anybody has any questions about it, they're more than happy to send me an email. We'll try to answer them. We'd like I said, this will be a division project. So if you'd like to be involved in this project, please reach out to myself or Rick. And we're good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nobody's asking questions yet. And
Yeah,
so,
14 pieces of granite.
wow.
Yeah, 14 pieces.
Of granite. That's not the bronze.
Yeah, that's not the. Yeah, like I said, I think I figured it. We lifted it. It was close to 200,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Now, Rick, the statue, I know, compared to you, your height, how much taller than you?
Oh, it's 1.5 of me.
Okay.
It's John. It's unbelievable.
Giant. Yeah, it's huge.
I'll be honest with you. When we went to go get it, I thought he was going to be 6 foot and about 300-400 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I looked at the box, we didn't even get to look in the box. We never got to see inside the box.
Until it was at our warehouse.
Yeah, until it was at our warehouse. And when I looked at that 8-foot box and we set it on that trailer and it squatted, and the
Wow.
trailer was rated for about 1,500 pounds, and it just squatted, I was like, oh my God.
I just got a comment from Roy Hudson. Calvin, I will talk to our board about this as the Captain Dickerson is on it.
Yeah,
I think he's
JJ Dickinson is on. It's the only, like I said, I do not know of another marker. It's a bust of him. I thought I sent that stuff to you, the bust of him.
No, I went through all the pictures you sent me.
If I send you a text, will you be able to get it and put it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, you put it up. Did you put pictures of him up?
Did he put?
Yeah, he put 2 different pictures of Dickinson up.
Okay,
there's one right there.
There's one. Did you?
Oh, okay. Now I see what you were talking about wearing a hat.
Well, no, that's Dickinson.
That's Dickinson. There's one of Kirby
and
Smith.
then put the next one. There it is. That's Dickinson.
Yeah, that's Dickinson. No, and it says something above at the top. I forget.
Tried and true. It says tried and true above it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
then there's
a Christian soldier. That's Kirby Smith.
Yeah. In like a derby hat.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty good size too. I mean, they're bigger than lifelike.
Yeah. And there's real good detail on their buttons, and it's
really good. It's all art. To me, it's all high-end art.
It's really art. Yeah, it really is.
I mean, these are one-off castings. There are no others around.
Now, the pictures I just showed, was that bronze or something else?
Yeah, it's bronze.
It's bronze.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they're like those plaques go on the on the square block you showed a couple of times. They're inserted into the cutouts of the block on 4 sides.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Linda's asking, are they bronze casted as well?
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. We've got pictures of all of it before it was taken apart. So we've got we've got a good documentation on how to reassemble the monument. These guys who built this thing in 1898, they were skilled craftsmen. They didn't have the type heavy equipment we did, but it must have been really something to see those guys assemble this thing back in 1898.
Yeah, because back then it was all freehand work.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the sculpting and everything, putting it together. I mean, it's the statue, building the thing. They did have cranes back then. They were probably steam-driven cranes.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought they would have had to have something to that effect to do what they did. I've never seen them address that issue, how they built that thing, but that would have been something to see. I'm sure it's in the newspapers, but I've never seen it written up.
Right.
So.
Jeffro, I'm looking forward to hanging out with you and Calvin and Rick at Lesty myself.
Yeah, that's another thing. Lesty's coming up in February. We got a pretty good I got a call, but I mean, we're pretty much the anchor camp there. If anybody would like to hang with us right in the middle of the place in the Confederate camp, let us know. If you got a little wall tent or a pup, that we got room for that. Sometimes we even actually have tents that are vacant that you can stay in. I mean, the smaller tents. If you do come, it's a good time. We'll have a good time, but do not be surprised if we put you to work. When we say work, is just kind of, work with the crowds, talk to the public, keep an eye on the camp, because, it's really bizarre sometimes. I've been going to Old Lusty pretty good long time, and it's not uncommon to go inside your tent and some person sitting in your tent resting. You know, it's like the public has no fear of sitting at your table and monkeying with stuff on top of your table. So we just need extra eyes around there to be helpful.
Yep.
Work with the crowd.
Are you planning on doing a movie night?
Yeah, well, we do movie night every night. We've been at movie night last couple. It'll be the third time if we do it.
Yeah.
It's possible. I know. I don't know if Chris is too big on movie night, but I kind of like movie night.
I like movie night. Movie night.
I like movie night. It was
I
actually
enjoyed it.
pretty cool when we did Josie Wells and the smoke was going between the film and and when the seat. You were kind of like in the movie. It was kind of cool.
Cool.
It
Yeah.
was cool. I don't know. We'll have to pick the movie, maybe Ride with the Devil or some movie we got. Good, Bad, and Ugly. Can't go really wrong with Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, we
This
did.
is
Well,
true.
did we do the hunt? We did the Hunley, didn't we? Did we do the Hunley?
I don't know if we did the Hunley.
There's
I think we run the Hunley movies down there at
Yeah, we do.
There's a movie
in
not
summary.
too many people know about it. It's called The Ironclads. I have not found it on DVD. I've found it on VHS at the Columbia, Georgia's Confederate Naval Museum. I don't care what it's called now. That's what I'm still calling it.
Well, the only thing about movie night, you got to pick one that just keeps the crowd interested. It can't be
Oh, yeah.
dry. You got to have some action going on, or you'll lose the crowd. Of course, as we shoot the movie and it gets dark, a lot of people just come hang out and watch the movie that wasn't even really invited, and that's cool too.
Yeah. And the dance is going on
The dance is going on right
50 yards away.
50 yards away. Yeah, we got the drive-in movie going over there where we're at. So, good time.
Jerry Piacaco is very impressive with all the details and this whole significant program. Thanks, Jerry.
There's Jerry. He's the election committee
Chairman.
Yep.
Good man. Jerry played the drum for us at our reunion. Kind of started it off, actually.
Yeah, he did.
So we about there, aren't we, Sean?
Yes, sir. And I want to thank you too for coming on tonight. Thank you for everybody in the chat. Remember to share this episode out with your camps, especially your camps. When you're doing a camp email, you can go on YouTube, look around Florida, go to live. You can find an episode that you may like, you're interested in. Put that in your camp emails. This way that your members have an idea of what we're doing from the brigade level on up.
All right. Well, good job, Sean. Rick, I'm sure I'll talk to you tomorrow. Actually, Rick is busy because we are, processing members all the time. I encourage everybody out there, shake them trees. It's not hard to get members. You kind of just like the big leagues, man. You get in the batter box and take a swing. You can't hit a home run unless you take a swing. So if you got friends, neighbors, anybody shows any slight interest in the
Family.
Confederate themed shirt you're wearing, talk to them. At the least, make a friend, because right now it's good to have as many friends as we can.
Exactly, and to forward the charge that our ancestors left for us.
Yeah. So in the coming years, like I said, with this monument going up, we're going to be doing some cowboy shit. Come on.
As far as donations, there'll be a link on the division website that they can make donations to the monument.
We can put something. That's a good idea, Sean. That's a good idea.
And a bucket out at reunion.
Sure.
Trying to get a good kickoff for it.
Yeah. Well, reunions in
June.
July. Correct me if I'm wrong. No, it's in June.
June.
Yep.
June.
First Saturday in June.
I wouldn't be surprised if something's happening by then, because we got some other projects in the fire right now, and it's going to boil up to the top shortly. And we're not going to waste time.
No.
We will be very calculated in what we do, but we will not burn daylight on this.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
All right.
All right. Like I said, guys, please share this episode out with your camps. Let your members know that what we're out there doing. You know, a lot of camps, our division leadership comes on the show to inform you. So please share these episodes out with your camps to keep them up to date on what we're doing. I just just like I said earlier, I want to thank our division commander, Calvin Hart, and our division adjutant, Rick Roberts, for taking a moment out of their busy day and coming on tonight.
No problem, Sean. Do a good job. Keep it up.
Exactly.
Keep it up, Florida man.
All right. With that being said, this weekend, I'm going to be doing some emails. I know some of you guys hit me up about coming on the show. Be expecting the email tonight, and I'm going to be adding some of faces of the SCV videos because I think I wore out the ones I got already. Till next time, stay Southern, stay out of trouble.
When my mother was in college, she danced with Confederate veterans. To me, it wasn't that far away. You know, my father knew this. My mother knew this. Almost 50 years ago, I joined the Sons of Confederate Veterans. In those days, we weren't concerned about saving monuments or any of those things. That wasn't necessary. In fact, none of us had any remote idea that it would ever come up, or we would have done something then. We can't just sit there and react. We have to be proactive.
The Sons of Confederate Veterans is the direct heir of the United Confederate Veterans and the oldest hereditary organization for male descendants of Confederate soldiers. Organized at Richmond, Virginia in 1896, the SCV continues to serve as a historical, patriotic, and non-political organization dedicated to ensuring that a true history of the 1861 to 1865 period is preserved. Membership in the SCV is open to all male descendants of any veteran who served honorably in the Confederate Armed Forces.
It is my birthright. My ancestors fought and bled and died. Because of their sacrifice, it gives me not only the eligibility to join, but it's my duty to join the organization. Their blood flows through my veins. Their struggles and triumphs are what made my family what it was, and in a sense made me who I am today. We're to defend the Confederate soldier's good name, that he fought for a noble cause, that he fought for his home, his wife, his children, and his descendants. We're to guard his history, which to me, it's the monuments, it's the headstones, as well as the actual written history of what happened during that war.
The citizen soldiers who fought for the Confederacy personified the best qualities of America. The preservation of liberty and freedom was the motivating factor in the South's decision to fight the Second American Revolution. The tenacity with which the Confederate soldiers fought underscored their belief in the rights guaranteed by the Constitution. These attributes are the underpinning of our democratic society and represent the foundation on which this nation was built. Today, the Sons of Confederate Veterans is preserving the history and legacy of these heroes, so future generations can understand the motives that gave life to the Southern cause.
We need to draw the line in the sand right now. These are our Confederate monuments. These are our Southern heroes, and you're not going to take them down. Right now, if we do not protect our heritage and present it as it truly was, it's going to be lost forever.
The memory and reputation of the Confederate soldier, as well as the motives for his suffering and sacrifice, are being purposely distorted in an attempt to alter history. And unless the descendants of Southern soldiers resist those efforts, a unique part of our nation's cultural heritage will cease to exist.
My commitment to the SCV is a commitment to our heritage, our cause, not in a violent way nor aggressive way, simply in the way we live. Live what you believe, but in your defense, know in what you're defending and defend it truthfully.
If you were interested in perpetuating the ideals that motivated your Confederate ancestor, the SCV needs you. Simply visit www.scv.org today. Our genealogists are ready to help you trace your Confederate heritage.
We're not just some history club. We are a fraternal organization who is essentially the last guardians whose duty it is to defend American and Southern history.
Thank you for joining the show tonight. Stay Southern, stay out of trouble.